Hi, everyone. Before we start this episode, we just wanted to let you know that our dog is in part of this episode in the background, and she does snore. So that's not me. That's not Christian. That's our pet. Okay, enjoy.
Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored. Welcome, everybody, to another episode.
Woohoo!
Married and Bored podcast. Glad you're here.
It's episode 46.
46. It's my age.
No, not quite.
Not quite.
You're going
I'm
to get
closer
there.
to 46 than not closer. Wait.
What? Well, to not be confusing, you are not 46, but this is episode 46.
There you go. And you know what? We're just going to say right off the bat, we are talking about Marvel Champions today.
Woo! I'm so excited. I know I've already whooped.
That was like a
twice.
half whoop.
Well, because I realized I already did it at the beginning. And I didn't want to be
That wasn't a gag.
too overzealous.
Yeah, so if you followed us for a while, you know we like this game. We post about it a lot. We've done a few episodes on it. We did an episode when it first launched 2 years ago.
Yep.
Had a lot of fun learning the game, figuring it out. We talked about, have we talked about, I've said a lot, all the campaigns, or have we just kind of like highlighted them?
No, I don't think we've talked about all the campaigns. We haven't played through all the campaigns, you and I.
That's true.
Because some of the campaigns you and I played through, but then one of them just me and the kids played through. So
yeah, but we've done many episodes on this game. We did a 101 episode. So if you're like, hey, what's this game? Check it out. It's some very basic information there.
Yep.
We did one on villains. We did one on heroes.
Aspects.
Yeah, aspects was probably right.
And
just
then,
check it out. Check out our feed.
Yeah, Christian wants you to check it out.
Just check it. So yeah, we're talking about Marvel Champions again, specifically the newest campaign, which is called Sinister Motives.
Yes.
Which
I'm very excited to talk about this.
Yeah, and also we should probably just say full disclosure, I have played one scenario in this campaign, so you, Angela, you're going to have to carry the heavy load, much like these heroes would do, like Spider-Gwen.
Okay.
Or Captain America.
I guess I'm ready. I mean, I know I'm ready.
So why don't we just like kick this off like we kick off all of our other episodes and just kind of give kind of like a what's up, but let's make it Marvel Champions specific.
Okay.
Or Pacific, however you say it.
Well, I think it's specific.
It's not
Christian.
the Pacific Ocean? Like, what if you want to go to the Pacific Ocean over there?
The specific ocean you want to go to is the Pacific Ocean?
Then it gets really confusing.
Okay. Cut it out. As Uncle Joey says, cut it out. Okay. We are getting some new heroes coming to us soon.
Yeah. We are. Why don't you tell them? I have a story about this, and then why don't you just tell them who they are and what you know about them? I don't know if you really know.
Yeah, I mean, so we're getting Ironheart and Nova.
Cool.
Coming next, and if you didn't know and haven't listened to us since the beginning, we got in on the ground level of this LCG, so we have everything there is to have.
Yeah, it's very fun doing it this way.
Yes, it would be
rather than playing catch up.
Oh, totally. Which we did with Lord of the Rings LCG, and we never caught up.
No.
So we started on the ground floor of this, and we have every hero, every villain,
everything.
Yeah. And so we're going to add to that Ironheart and Nova. Man, what do I know about them? Well, I know a little bit more about Ironheart than Nova, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because our daughter has a graphic novel on Ironheart. Mm-hmm. So teenager, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Riri. And she, a la Tony Stark in homage, kind of like she's following him in his footsteps. She's making a Iron Man suit.
Yeah, she like reverse engineers an Iron Man suit on her own or something. Like, it's pretty... I've read a couple of the comics, and yeah, she makes her own suit.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. She's basically a kid version of Tony.
And
Just really
you'll
smart.
recognize both of these characters as allies already.
Yeah.
So Ironheart is an ally. Cost 2, draw a card.
That's a good one. I feel like that one needs to be in every deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Nova, which I don't really know much about him at all. It's just that he's always pictured with lightning.
Yeah, it's not lightning. It's more like...
Energy?
It's like a rocket.
Okay.
So Nova's weird. It's Spanish for don't go.
Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know much about Nova.
He's from space, and all of his power comes from his helmet.
Okay.
His helmet is connected to like a hive mind, as far as I know. And so he's connected to all these other... That's where he gets all of his power. And so he can go really fast, and he's strong. And
Cool.
that's really all I know about him. I know there was like an adult version of Nova, and now there's like a kid, like Champions version of Nova, who's friends with Miss Marvel and all these like younger heroes like Ghost Spider and Miles.
Oh.
So this is like a kid version.
Interesting.
Not a kid version, but you know what I mean.
Teenager.
Yeah, like Riri.
Riri.
Yeah. So I think they're doing like, if you look at the cards we're talking about today, like Miles Morales, he has a champion
Yes.
keyword, and so does... Well, I don't think Ghost Spider does, but I think Miss Marvel does already. She might have one.
That sounds familiar, yeah. And, I mean, man, she was not in the original box, but it seems like forever since
She was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
And she
talked
keeps
about
on
her.
getting better and better with all the new events that they keep bringing out. So, like, she's fun. She's a fun one to go back to and play some more.
Yes.
I think the interesting thing about Ironheart is she has like 3 stages of her hero form. Do you remember seeing that? Where like,
Yes.
because she, in the comic book, she builds like a version 1, and it's very clunky and not very efficient. And then she goes the opposite and builds like a huge monster, not a monster, but like a huge Iron Man suit. And it's too slow, but it's really strong. And then
so
finally,
it's finding the sweet spot.
and then finally, Tony helps her. Well, in the comics, it's a hologram of Tony because he's dead. Helps her build the Ironheart suit.
Cool.
Yeah,
I remember the 3 stages from, when Fantasy Flight posted
the
about those
preview
cards.
article. Yeah,
Yep. So I would say I'm like moderately looking forward to these, more out of curiosity to learn more about them, not necessarily like, oh, I'm dying to play this character,
yep,
because I just don't know much.
yeah. I feel like I'm more interested in Ironheart than Nova, solely for the fact that we know more about that character. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure what happens with this game is when a hero comes out where I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I always go and want to read more about who they are.
Yes.
And like why they chose them.
Read the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, today I put like 4 of Ghost Spider comics on my...
On your iPad?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's what I'm going to do after the show.
Any more Marvel Champions news?
So I was going to tell my story about these
yeah.
2 new heroes. I got we pre-ordered them from Fantasy Flight, which we do. And
We do.
I got an email saying like, your pre-order is shipping soon. And I was like, sweet. What pre-order? Because I have about 6 of them at any time because they announce the cards so early.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, it's probably Ironheart or Nova. I kind of knew that. And I went to go look, and I clicked the order number, and it was like, oh, Ironheart shipping. It's like, great.
Great.
Awesome. So today I get another email that said your pre-order shipped. I was like, cool. I pressed the button, and the order number was for Nova.
Oh.
So I don't know if they want to release them together.
Okay.
That's their goal. But it was just kind of funny where it was like, oh, Ironheart is going to ship, but Nova shipped.
Oh,
So it's just kind of funny that they...
Which one is coming
Yeah, they
first?
flip-flopped it. Hopefully in the same package, and we'll get them at the same time. But I was just kind of like a little confused on what happened there. And I wasn't alone, because I read someone else had the same problem.
Okay, well, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe they're just coming together.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right?
Toes crossed, fingers crossed. Other Marvel Champions news?
Yeah, so we talked about a while ago that I am getting to go to Gen Con, which is fun. And just a few days ago, they had the event catalog released, and we had to get it. We had to get all of our events that we wanted to attend, or the scheduled events. Was like Sunday at 9 a.m. You had to be there to press the button to like reserve your spot. Well, a few weeks earlier, they had the catalog released, and there was a Marvel Champions event that was on there. And I was like, I'm totally doing this, because it was Marvel Champions Mutant Genesis. And it even said, which is the rumored new or not even a new campaign. This is what I don't know, if it's a new campaign box or if it's kind of just core? A big core, like a new box.
Ooh.
And it just said battle your way through, like mutants or whatever in this next exciting expansion to Marvel Champions. And I was like, yes, of course I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? And then come late last week when I was getting my schedule finalized, it was gone. Like, it disappeared.
Just poof.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're not doing it then?
Well, Hall of Heroes had an article about it too.
Okay.
Where they were just like, it wasn't just me who saw it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's on Hall of Heroes, which is a great resource for this game, by the way.
Yes, check out Hall of Heroes.
But yeah, so everyone's like, are they just going to announce it there? Or is it going to be purchasable? Or both? Like, I'll be very excited if it's purchasable.
Yes.
Less excited if I only get to play it, because it's not going to play all that different than the game currently does, which is good. But like, if it's purchasable, I'll just buy it and probably not play it. I'll just play the real, like, my own copy. Yeah. But if I can't buy it, I'll have to like play it to see the cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'm not alone in that people are very excited for
X-Men
mutants to show up.
So, so they're opening the whole X-Men universe. This could be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be giant. Like,
it makes me feel like it's definitely a core as opposed to like another campaign, but who knows? They have...
It could be a campaign with 4 heroes. Like,
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. We've already got Scarlet Witch, and she's X-Men-ish, right?
Yeah, technically she's...
Adjacent.
Adjacent. Quicksilver as well.
Quicksilver. We got Spectrum.
Spectrum? Oh, I don't think she's an X-Men.
No?
No.
Okay. I thought she was. There's someone else I'm thinking of.
There's some like minions that are mutants.
Yeah,
or like allies.
Or allies, yeah. So that would be cool.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of new villains that could pop up that are like classic Marvel villains, like Magneto, obviously. There's Juggernaut. Yep. There's Mr. Sinister. You could do the whole like I don't know what it's called. Not Muir Island, but there's a whole... I remember watching the cartoon as a kid where they went to the Savage Land. That's what it is.
Okay.
And like the X-Men lose their powers when they're in the Savage Land because of Mr. Sinister. So there could be a whole campaign around that with like Sauron, the pterodactyl man guy.
Yes.
And, then they could go to the future, Dark Phoenix.
That's not a Lord of the Rings Sauron.
That's why I had said pterodactyl, not the seeing eye Sauron. But yeah, so super excited. If you had to pick, Angelo, because I've talked a lot, one X-Men that you're excited for, or that you would want to have in this new expansion, who would it be?
Okay.
And as far as what you know who they are, what aspect would you want them to be with?
I'm curious to see what Rogue's power would be, because she copies. Yeah. So that would be interesting to me.
Unless they go 80s or like 90s Rogue, where she still copies, but she's basically Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
She can fly and she's strong and punches.
Right. But maybe I'm most excited for... Gosh, there's so many I want to see what their powers are. Wolverine, I think, will just be strong.
Aggression, right?
Yeah.
Like, how could it not be?
Excited to play that.
Cyclops, leadership.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Look you've got this all figured out. Have you thought about this?
No, this is just off the cuff.
What about who would be a good Justice?
I would say maybe Beast.
Okay.
Or I'm trying to think of what Jean Grey would be. Maybe Jean Grey she'd probably be Protection, actually.
Yeah, Protection.
Because she has the telekinesis stuff and shields. So Beast would be my...
I'd also really like to see... why am I blanking on her name? In the villains. She can...
Oh, Lady...
Mystique.
Yeah.
Mystique, yeah. So I was like, Mysterio, and I was like, no, that's what we're talking about tonight.
That'd be cool, is if you have Mysterio... not Mysterio.
Mystique.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
If you took villains from other scenarios and somehow incorporated that, and you had to find out who the real one was in some way.
It's like, oh, you just that's actually Mystique. Mm-hmm. So cool.
Either way, it'd be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure it's going to be all over the internet, probably in the next couple weeks, because they got to get hype going.
Yeah.
So I would expect in the next couple weeks for them to do an article about it. They have to.
Well,
right? Come on.
Let's cross our fingers and our toes for that one too.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Well, let's take a break. I don't know.
Break?
Yeah, we'll do a little sponsor break, and then we will talk about Sinister Motives. Let's do it.
This episode is sponsored by Showit. Are you stuck in a boring website template? Maybe you don't even know where to start. Experience the true creative freedom with the drag and drop simplicity of a Showit website. Our website, marriedandbored.com, is a Showit website, and we love how simple it is to create. Get started for free at showit.co. You won't be disappointed.
All right. Sinister Motives.
In an effort to be healthier, can you just let all the listeners know what kind of candy you're snacking on today?
I have no candy whatsoever, and I am shedding a tear. I have peeled or husked or whatever it's called pistachios. How do you say it?
Pistachios.
Pistachios.
And how are those hitting the spot, Chris?
No, they're making my mouth really dry.
Well, wet your whistle.
Yeah, that's the candy update today. We're doing a diet together, which has been fine.
Yeah.
I just want to eat something else besides potatoes.
It's the potato diet.
Just potatoes.
We're just removing all the allergens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't have...
So if we're a little tense tonight and biting towards each other...
Yeah, that's the no sugar in our veins.
No, we're doing okay. We're almost done. We only have 74 more days.
And then, you know what? We'll order pizza and ice cream and...
Yep. It's like all the people at work that had pizza and wings for lunch today while I had a chicken breast with potatoes.
You're so sad about it.
It's whatever. I signed up for it. So, Sinister Motives. Okay, I'll say it again.
Okay.
I haven't played through this campaign, so this is all you.
Oh, you're not even going to jump in?
No, I'm going to bed with my pistachios.
Okay, guys, it's just you guys and us and me.
No, I'll ask questions, and then you can answer from your experience.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I feel a little intimidated.
Why?
Because I know that there are people that deep dive Marvel Champions, and we love Marvel Champions, but I wouldn't ever consider myself an expert.
No, we go swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
We don't train for the Olympic event.
Right.
We bring our noodles and our floats and our koozies,
yeah,
and we go and play.
Exactly.
That's how we attack Marvel Champions. And we go over that. We look over there and be like, well, he looks really tired, swimming laps like a pro.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
Why don't we start with the heroes?
Yes.
Do you want to talk your new favorite?
Sure. The heroes that came with this campaign are,
Spider-Man. What?
believe it or not, and Ghost Spider. So we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and we've got Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider. And I have said in previous Marvel Champions episodes that I really disliked Protection because I just couldn't figure out how to play it well. It just always felt like there's something I'm missing. Like I'm not doing this well. I know it can't be this lopsided. Like Protection can't be like the one aspect that's bad.
Yeah,
So
or
I
like
just-
the timing of things never made sense either.
Right. I was just struggling with Protection. And because of that, I would just not play it.
Right.
And so Gwen, Ghost Spider, came with Protection. Mm-hmm. I've updated her deck. Not the deck that she originally came with, but I've kept her as the aspect Protection.
Oh yeah, we went to Marvel DB almost immediately.
Yes.
To just fine tune it a bit.
Yes. And I love Protection now. She makes me want to play Protection with other
That was going to be my next
heroes.
question. Do you think it's just a specific to Gwen, or is it more like, hey, I understand what's going on now. Let's give Drax a try, or let's give Groot another try.
Right. I feel like Gwen has inspired me to play Protection with other heroes.
Well, you know what? That's what heroes do.
She is my inspiration.
Oh, my
inspiration. Man, we've tried Protection with so many people.
Yeah, Quicksilver
Yep.
was supposed to be good. It sucked.
We couldn't unlock that.
I did have early on Captain America. I found a little success with
Man,
Protection.
I don't remember
but that might have been like year one, like right when
For
it came
sure.
out.
I've tried Black Panther Protection.
Yeah, that Retaliate. Yeah.
I've tried, well, you said Cap. We've tried Drax and Groot Protection. Mm-hmm. Vision.
Yeah, I did, and I didn't like it.
I think we've even tried like a random one too, like Black Widow or something else. Anyway, all that to say is none of those were hitting the spot or even inspiring me to play Protection ever again.
Well, that's cool.
This one does. Gwen has her Ghost Spider, I should say, when she's on her hero side, she has the text that says response after you resolve an interrupt or response ability on an event. Ready, Ghost Spider. That's limit once per phase, but still, so she can like attack for her 2, and then there's events in your hand throughout her deck that you could play, and then not only do you get to resolve the text on the card you played, but then you get to stand her again.
Yeah, she's
So-
She's agile,
Yeah.
so she goes up and down.
So that is really cool. It makes, well, literally, I guess, but also figuratively, makes her very flexible. Like she can thwart and attack. Her thwart is only 1, but she does have events that help her thwart.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying playing her, getting used to spending cards during the villain phase instead of during the hero phase for Protection, which is one of those things that takes getting used to. But I feel like because of her ability that I just read, she can still do things during the hero phase, even though, you're setting up her, like you're maybe getting her armor ready. You're getting hard to ignore, which removes threat. You're getting unflappable out. You're getting, all these things ready for the villain phase, but she can still do things during the hero phase.
Yeah, because her action is once per phase, so you can do it
Yeah.
as you attack, and then you can do it as you defend.
Yes.
As long as you have the cards, obviously.
Right. And you also have her father as a support, George, who you can attach events to and treat them as if they were in your hand.
So you could pull out 4 at once, and just if you have the cards
I
to
think
play
there's a
them.
limit of 3, but yeah, you could have basically like a hand size of 8.
That's
or
cool.
Something.
Yeah, that's really neat. Well, the other one is Miles Morales, as Angela said, and he's pretty cool. He's just a 2 across the board.
Yeah.
So nothing fancy, but pretty strong. I think that's
Right.
Black Widow, Captain America. They're all the same.
He reminds me of a Gamora. Not in like she's all about events,
Yeah.
right? But just that she can attack and thwart very well. Like
He does a little bit of
and
both.
he does both very well as
Yeah.
too. So he has special abilities which you can read, but I was going to say there's one that confuses and there's one that stuns. So it's like he plays both attack and thwart very
Yeah, that
nicely.
seems very strong. Like his cards, because some of his Spider-Man specific cards say resolve Venom Blast,
right.
which is deal 2 damage and stun, and then some other ones will say resolve Camouflage, which is it gives Spider-Man a tough card and confuse an enemy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's so nice.
That's really strong. I didn't realize it was both.
Right.
So that makes him unique from regular Spider-Man.
Yes.
Almost stronger.
It just
it
depends on
seems.
what you want to do.
Spider-Man does have their Peter has 3 defense, which is nice.
He has 3 defense, and he has. You still get the web shooters in both of them.
Yeah,
both
the
of
exact same card.
Both of them have web shooters, but I feel like Peter has. He's got the swinging
The web kick, yeah.
He's got webbed up, which kind of double stuns. I guess
Yeah.
it webs someone up and then stuns them
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, they're different, which is I'm glad they are.
Yeah.
Because if
No,
they
you
were
don't want
very
it to be the
similar,
same.
it'd be like, oh well, it's another Spider-Man. That's how I felt when this was coming out. I was like, I don't want more. There's so many other heroes.
That's how I felt too.
Like, why do we need more Spider-Man?
Yeah. I was really underwhelmed. Now, this whole game makes me excited, but in the scheme of things, I was just underwhelmed when this one got announced by Fantasy Flight. I was like, oh,
Spider-Man overload, right? Like,
yeah, too much. But now I think, well, maybe I'll adjust after our overall thoughts at the end. But I was going to say, I think this might be the most fun campaign.
Okay.
So that really took me by surprise.
Yeah, that's really cool. So they're very fun to play. I mean, as most of the heroes in this game are. Some are more clunky than others, but these 2 seem really well thought out. I love the Venom Blast and Spider Camouflage. Like, I remember those abilities in the PS5 game of Miles. He could do both of those. So
Yep.
that's kind of cool to me.
And one more thing about him, I just remembered I think they're classified as supports, but he's got 2 supports that help him out with drawing cards, and I think one removes threat. I'm going to blank on their names.
Well, Genki.
Yep.
Yeah,
Genki.
his roommate. Uh-huh. And then is it his uncle?
Maybe. What's
Yeah.
the name?
I don't know.
Okay. I would recognize the name if I heard it. But yeah, I really liked those. They, I think their alter ego, or one of them is draw a card, discard a card. But if you are an alter ego, you don't have to discard a card.
Oh, that's cool.
His alter ego shuffles
A Spider-Man card from your discard pile.
Yeah. So you get to put cards back in your deck, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's like a war machine.
Especially because you want those cards that say resolve Venom Blast, resolve Camouflage. You want them to keep coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like these 2 new heroes a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to. I'm actually, like I said, I wasn't super excited about Miles, but after looking at his card a little bit closer just now, like I'd give it a go. I think it'd be fun. And I like playing Justice, so I think I'd put him with Justice.
I think that's so. Our son played Miles when we played, and I believe he played him Justice.
Yeah, I think that's becoming my favorite aspect.
You do like Justice a lot.
Yeah, usually I like protection in video games.
Yeah.
High health, takes forever to die, that kind of stuff. And I've said this before, but like in this game, It doesn't make sense to me yet. So
you just got to play Gwen.
So I'm struggling. But Miles Justice, I'm looking forward to. I'll have to look up something to make a deck.
Yeah, and just in case people haven't tuned in before, we're going to shout out a couple of resources here that we use a lot. We mentioned Hall of Heroes. Go check them out. They have tons of Marvel Champion content. And also Marvel Champion CDB, not CBD, CDB, or Marvel CDB.
It's Marvel CDB. It's not Marvel Champion.
Just Marvel CDB.
Yep.
That's how we find deck lists and things that we want to try. And you can sort it by popularity, by likes. You can just look for a certain aspect or just a certain hero. And there's a lot of filters you can put on it to suit your taste.
Yeah, find what you want. Mm-hmm. So it's a really good resource, especially with these new heroes. You might be tired of the pre-constructed deck.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not great. So you can always make your own. I think we made our own when it was very new. Now there are so many cards that I can't keep them all straight. So I rely on smarter people to do that for me.
We can't even keep them all in the same box.
Yeah, that's starting to become very true as well.
Yeah, and I mean, would it be fun to create your own deck from scratch with all the cards we have? Sure, but we don't have unlimited time.
No, I feel
That's the thing.
I feel like, too, I would need... Like, I was thinking about this. I should build it like I know what I'm doing. Like a resource or a database where you look up a card. You're like, oh, I really like... give me a card. I don't really care what it is.
Well, we've got the Coulson and Rapid Response.
Yeah, so Coulson, and then it would link all the cards that in some way could connect to Coulson.
Yeah.
Whether it's like
a preparation,
an ally attachment, or just something like that, where it's like, okay, I really want to build around Daredevil ally.
Yeah.
And maybe there's not much, but the database would like pull up cards that it would directly affect that card. Maybe I should do it. I don't know.
Are you going to copyright that idea right here, right now?
Yeah, so let's rewind and erase this so that I can get... No, it's fine. But if someone's out there, could probably do it a lot faster than I, because I am not a very good coder. So
there you go.
Someone else can do it better than I can.
I feel like there's like too many options of cards that could link to other cards.
Well, you'd have to go through every single card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
if you have the ability to do that, why don't you contact us? We'll go 50-50.
50-50? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go 50-50 on talking about...
villains?
The campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, by the title of this thing, Sinister Motives, you can probably guess. We're going to see a lot of Spider-Man villains.
Yes.
Sinister Six shows up, right?
Are you going to take this first one since this is the one that you've played?
Yeah, so again, this is the one that I've played. You and I sat down a few weeks ago, right after it came out, and we're like, oh, we're going to do this. I wasn't hot on Miles yet.
No. Nope.
So I did a Jessica Drew. Is that her name?
Yeah, you did
Spider-Woman.
Yes.
Got to keep the theme going. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to play OG Spider-Man because that just seemed boring.
Right.
And I did Justice Leadership, so you could get all the cool combos like we just talked about. But I don't think we won because Sandman, the first villain, is... I feel like ever since the campaign after Red Skull... Like, who's Crossbones is first?
In Red Skull?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just hits hard. Mm-hmm. He's not like, he comes out literally guns blazing because that's his thing. But he wasn't a shock.
Right.
I feel like every campaign after that first scenario.
Man, remember Drang? The first one?
Yeah, the Badoon guy.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like 84 threat, you lose.
Yeah.
On turn 2. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So this is not similar to Drang, but it just seems like a very fast and intense start. It's like, oh, Sandman's hard.
Yeah. You got to be prepared for him.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
Well, he has sand.
Okay. Kinetic sand?
I'll
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll pass this to you because you run the game when we play.
I know.
And so there's a lot of like sand counters and there's damage that's indirect or direct, and I can't keep track of it all.
Yes.
Especially when I'm playing a new hero every time we play this game.
Yes. Yes.
So Sandman, let's spin this around. What's his deal?
Okay. Now this is the part where, remember, we swim in the pool. We don't do laps. We have fun with our floaties. So if I get something wrong here, just tell me nicely.
Yeah, let us know. Like we're always wanting to know the rules. I have a rules question at the end of the show.
Okay.
That I would love some clarification on, but I'll save it till then.
Okay. So Sandman does only indirect damage.
Ever.
Only.
Huh.
Yeah. All his attacks are indirect.
So how you can never defend?
No, you can defend, but indirect just means that you're going to split up the damage that's dealt among your identity, whether it's alter ego or hero. In this case, he wouldn't be attacking you if you're an alter ego.
But if you defended it all, you're good.
Yes.
Okay.
But anything that's left after you defend could be taken by an ally, but not past their remaining hit points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't think it applies to Sandman, but there are minions and modular encounter sets that have things like indirect damage happens apart from an attack, and you can't defend against something that's not an attack.
So it's just like take 6 indirect damage. You just have to do it.
Yeah, so that would be something where you can't defend against that.
Gotcha.
But because he's initiating an attack against you, you can you can defend if you want, or you can just split it up amongst
If you have
your
allies
characters.
out, they can take allies.
So that's the part where if we're getting that wrong, please let us know. Because that would be a big difference.
Yeah.
But regardless, we'll just go on to the next part. So he's going to do indirect damage. And then if your identity takes any amount of damage from that attack, you have to resolve the Surging Sands ability on city streets, which is just discarding cards from the encounter deck.
So many cards.
So
it's
many.
Ridiculous. I got PTSD from Claw. By playing Sand. This is like a harder version of Claw.
Yes. This is very reminiscent of Claw, but almost in a way where, well, with Claw you can control if you're alter ego or hero. So yes, I was going to say you can control this a little better, but you can control Claw as well. It's just in a different way. We were just smothered by Sandman the first time we played because we just weren't ready for how quickly the Surging Sands piles up.
Yeah, and sand gets everywhere.
Man, it does in your swimsuit.
In the swimsuit.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, get ready. Get ready for Sandman.
Get ready for some sand. There is a way to get rid of the counters, and that would be to exhaust a character you control and then remove counters that are equal to its attack.
Okay, so that works. If you can get your allies out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And from what I would read the rules, like if you do that with an ally, they don't take consequential damage because you're not attacking anything.
Does it say just discard, or not discard a card, but it says exhaust a card?
It just says exhaust a character you control.
Yeah, you're not using the basic.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a nice way to keep allies doing things without giving them consequential damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely need to take care of the Surging Sands ability on the city streets or you're going to be real acceleration tokens are going to start piling up.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. And then I think we'll just say right now, going forward, as we talk about more of these villains, if you don't want to know who's in the box, just stop listening.
Right.
We spoiled Sandman. So going forward, there might be some minor spoilers. We'll do our best to keep the fun ones as secret as we can, because there are some fun ones in this from what you said, right?
Yes.
So you probably already know what they are, but we're just going to talk about them as best as we can.
Yes. The next villain.
Yeah, so next is Spider-Man Classic, a hero in the game already.
Oh, man.
Which I don't like him as a hero, but he's very strong.
Our son loves him as a hero.
It's Venom.
Yep.
Venom as a villain is so much better, I think. It just makes more sense.
You like him as a villain.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has a little twist on Retaliate.
Okay, how so?
Well, he has a few things going on. So the first layer is that he's going to, whenever you deal damage to him via an attack or a card, you are going to take a face down boost card by your deck.
Okay.
And then when his phase comes, so it's like Retaliate does it right away. Like you punch, it punches.
Yeah.
This is like a delayed effect.
So it comes
then
back to you.
When the villain phase comes, he has the ability to pull those boost cards, however many you have in front of you.
Do you just count the boost icons, or are they new encounter cards?
No, these are just boost icons.
Well, that's at least better. Encounter cards are the worst part about this game.
Well, wait till we get to Mysterio.
But boosts I could probably handle.
So, but that means he could potentially, like, depending on how many separate attacks you did during your turn, he could have like 2 or 3 boost cards on his attack.
So you could hit for you like 10.
Yeah, the next villain phase.
That's terrible.
And then another layer is that he's got the bell tower.
Right.
So tell people about the bells.
Well, the bells for Venom he doesn't like concentrated like sonic sounds.
Okay.
So in many Spider-Man, like in the cartoon, even in the 90s, you go in a bell tower and you bang the bell, and it would just like reverberate the Venom symbiote off of the body, whoever the host was.
Okay. So I didn't know about that. I
Yeah.
remember asking you like a bell tower. What is this? The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah, he goes to church.
Yeah. So you try to, like, much like Avengers Tower in the Mad Titans Shadow, it's an environment that can flip. So you want to remove counters from the quiet side, which is what it starts at, so that it starts ringing and gets to the loud side. I think it's called the ringing side.
Yeah.
And when it's on that side, he takes 1 more damage for every attack.
Oh, that's cool.
So
and he has, if I remember, like sitting in on a couple of these rounds, he has a lot of health too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and so that extra damage helps.
And then if you get to like, we didn't play. We've mentioned before we're intimidated by expert mode. But if you do Venom 3, he's got Retaliate as well as the text about the boost cards.
Gross.
So he's got a lot coming at you if you
Yeah.
get to Venom 3.
That's cool. And you said that he reminds you a little bit of Rhino.
Yeah, I mean like Rhino on steroids with more layers, because Rhino's just like basic heavy hitter.
Yeah,
Venom's like, I'm gonna hit you, but I'm also gonna put a twist on it.
Okay.
And if you can get the bells ringing, you can do more damage to me. It's like another layer of Rhino.
That seems really fun. And then the next villain is the most mysterious villain of them all.
Ooh, what a spoiler.
Mysterio. So he's cool because his whole thing is like illusion. You don't know what's real and what's fake.
Right.
So how does that work in this scenario?
So he can add encounter cards to your deck.
Okay.
You don't need to re-sleeve them or anything. So it doesn't matter if you know where it is in your deck.
You just know it's coming.
You know it's coming. And if you draw it, you are supposed to put it face down in front of yourself like another encounter card.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so it like comes back to bite you.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's not a boost, it's an encounter. So it's like you're experiencing that illusion again.
Cool.
It's a really cool, like, I think they did such a great job in this campaign specifically about like the theme.
Okay.
Like the sand everywhere with the sand counters.
Yeah.
And
the bell tower's cool.
The
That's
bell
a good
tower
idea.
with Venom. Mysterio having illusions put into your deck. And that's going to come back. That's going to... I won't spoil too much, but that's going to... how well you deal with those illusions is going to carry on through the campaign.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. And then there's also another surprise between the Venom and Mysterio scenarios.
Cool.
So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Talking about it just makes me want to
play.
Try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the classic, what everyone came here for, Sinister Six.
Right. Name on the box.
Yeah, pretty much. I watched you guys play this quite a bit, and it was just really cool to see, like, you don't fight all 6 of them at once, right? They
Nope.
kind of like rotate through 4 at a time.
Well, we had 4 because we were 3 player.
Oh, it's depending on players.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it depends.
If there's 4 players, there's probably 6.
No, I think it's 1. X is 1 more than the
Gotcha.
number of players, I believe.
Okay.
So I don't think all 6 would start out there.
No.
But you could have all 6 out there during the scenario.
Yeah, sure.
No matter how many players you
Sure.
have. Yeah, this one. So how do you feel about the Wrecking Crew?
I think it's fine. I would like it better only if I knew who the heck they were.
Right.
Like, I'd just like, okay, cool, construction guys, let's go beat them up. Like, they're not...
Yeah.
I think it's unique. It's one of the... I know people don't like it in the community. They think it's kind of boring because you can control so much of it. Like, who do you...
Right.
You can control who activates next, pretty much, right?
Right.
But I think it's unique, and I think they tried something that they didn't... It's still unique
Yeah.
compared to the other scenarios.
Totally.
So it's not my favorite, mainly because there's so much to set up.
Yeah.
And some of those guys hit really hard, so it's fine. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. This was, I think, the first villain pack released after...
Yeah, one of the very first ones.
The core set. If you don't know what the Wrecking Crew is, it's 4 villains at once. So the reason why I brought it up is because I think the Sinister Six is just a better mechanically version of that.
Okay.
It's really cool. Your actual goal is not to defeat them. Your goal is to escape, which you do by thwarting.
Oh.
So you have to thwart a lot. Like, I think for 4 players, and because of what happened in the last scenario, we started the first side of the main scheme, or no, the side scheme that you're trying to escape, I think had like 45 threat.
And so you had to get that down to 0.
Flip it
and
over,
then it was done.
more threat.
Oh.
And then you have to thwart all that, and then you escape.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a 2-phase villain, you do like a 2-phase threat race.
Right. But then these villains keep popping in and out.
They cycle through, right?
So if you damage one like to 0 health, okay, it's gone, but it might come back.
And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
Scorpion's not one of them, but he shows up. And,
encounter card. Well, he is one of them.
Is
Scorpion
he?
is.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
So encounter cards can make villains appear. Boosts, I think, even can make villains appear. So, and then you have to defeat them in order to kind of control and manage what's happening, even though that's not your ultimate goal. So I kind of like the puzzle of like, okay, how much time do we devote to defeating this person? Defeating them also removes threat. So
it's a faster way to do it. Okay.
That helps. Yeah, it's a cool puzzle to try to figure out what to prioritize.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to say about Sinister Six? That sounds the most fun out of the 4 that we've talked about so far.
I feel like it's kind of like a reward for making it that far.
Yeah, and I also... So there's one more villain after these guys. I don't understand why they weren't the last one.
Well, it's kind of like how I felt about Mad Titan's Shadow.
Yeah, Thanos is like third.
Why is Thanos the third one?
Smack in the middle.
Yeah.
It's the story they're trying to tell. I get it. But it's just kind of like, you expect them to be the big bad. But if you're only escaping at the end of it, it's like, wah, wah.
Right.
To be continued.
Well, so, yeah.
And that's where this last guy comes up. And so it's Venom Goblin, which I This is one that I didn't watch you guys play, don't know anything about, but I assume it's like Hobgoblin or Green Goblin with Venom symbiote, right?
Well, so Hobgoblin is one of the Sinister Six.
Okay.
It looks, to me, the artwork looks like just regular Green Goblin.
Okay.
But, I don't know the comic backstory.
It's a lore thing. You can probably look it up, but
he has multiple main schemes. So they're not side schemes. There's 3 main schemes. And depending on which one is active, certain things are going to happen. I don't want to say that this was like a wah, but it was just kind of, okay, I liked the other 4 scenarios better.
This was just more classic, fight them and then be done.
Yeah. I mean, the 3 main schemes, that is interesting. I don't think there's anything like that.
No, it doesn't. That I recall.
Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight both have schemes.
But you're also fighting 2 villains at the same time.
Right. So this is one villain
who can't die separately.
Right. So I feel like this is a little bit different than that. And what didn't get cleaned up in the Sinister Six is going to come back.
Oh, cool.
I say it that way?
Yeah. So I feel like every scenario in this campaign has something like that.
Yeah.
If you do well, it will make the next one easier. But if you kind of take your time and get a lot of threat or don't kill minions or don't whatever, then it kind of starts snowballing at you.
Yeah. And that's a good segue into like just overall they're in the campaign. I don't know what you call it. Score sheet. Mm-hmm. They added a new thing for Sinister Motives, which is a reputation track.
Yeah.
So after each scenario, you're going to increase your reputation, maybe by a little bit, maybe by a lot of it.
Depending on what you did.
Depending on how you ended. Yep. And I guess, so thematically that represents that your reputation's getting higher, so citizens are trusting you more. So good things are going to result from that. But then also you're more prevalent, so villains are going to be ready for you more.
Okay.
And so bad things are going to happen as a result of that as well.
What's the side scheme at the very beginning of like, it's not notoriety, but you're like trying like street cred or something? Like what's the one on Sandman where you're trying to...
like the city streets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're just trying to get noticed or something?
No. So that is... that's like a separate campaign card that is called... Ooh, I'm blanking. I'm going to find it.
Okay. But I thought it was interesting because it was like separate than the main scheme and the villain, and you still had to like worry about it because that's what would come back to get you.
No, Public Outcry is the name of the card, I believe is what you're saying.
Oh, I'm getting it mixed up then.
And so Public Outcry starts with counters on it, and every time you defeat a side scheme or a minion, you remove counters, which is like the way for the game to say, okay, you defeated a minion or you helped thwart a side scheme, so the public is trusted.
You're helping the city.
So there's not as much public outcry.
And then what does that get you?
And so if all of that is removed, then you don't have an acceleration token anymore, because that has a built-in acceleration token.
Oh.
So you get to remove that from the campaign. It also has a victory.
Yeah, I was going to say that's how you get some of the victory campaign points.
Yep.
Cool. And how is like the market in this one?
So you mean
the campaign upgrade market or whatever?
There is one upgrade, but there's also like villain upgrades. So there's Osborne tech attachments that can be scattered throughout the encounter deck.
Okay.
Based on how far down the reputation track you are.
So that makes sense.
So the further down you get on the reputation track, you might get more and more Osborne tech.
Because the villains are getting stronger and they want to defeat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you might also get other effects like minions coming at you at the start of a scenario.
Is there any reason not to go down the track? Like,
Well,
why
no,
wouldn't
there's
you?
good things too. So
Yeah.
you get good things like you get shield tech for going down the track, and you get shield enhanced tech. You get to flip it to its enhanced side. You get to there's a double mulligan option.
Okay.
If you get further down, and yeah. So at the end of each scenario, you're not only counting up victory points, you're counting up I think there's 5 other conditions, which are there any minions in play? Are there any side schemes in play? Is there threat on the main scheme? Is there fewer than 1 acceleration token per person in play? And are there no defeated identities? And so that you count those up 1 for 1, and you get to move that many down the reputation track.
That's neat. Did you make it to the bottom of it when you did it?
We did not.
No.
But I feel like we got, for me and 2 kids.
We played with an 8 and a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
You did pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like we did okay. And we only went through stage 1 villain, so the easy mode of the campaign.
That's all they had capacity for.
Really. I mean, otherwise the game gets too long with 3 players going through.
Okay, so as we wrap this up again, where would you rank this among the other campaigns?
I still think it's the most fun.
Okay, just because there's a lot of different, not scenarios, but a lot of different mechanics to make it interesting.
Yeah,
or
I feel like they really.
Are you having fun with Spider-Gwen as well?
That too. I mean, I think the heroes are fun, but I also think they kind of went above and beyond with making the villains thematic.
Yeah, I did notice that. I feel like they're really cool.
I think maybe the Galaxy's Most Wanted is still maybe the hardest campaign, in my opinion.
Have we even played Ronan?
I think no. I don't think we made it beyond Nebula.
I'm scared of Ronan.
Wait, is Ronan before Nebula?
No, he's at the end.
Okay. So, yeah, that one, I mean, was so hard.
Yeah.
It just comes out like guns blazing.
The Badoon, and then all of a sudden you're escaping from the menagerie, and yeah, it's wild.
And then I think it's hard for me to say like to rank Mad Titan's Shadow, because I just love the Thanos storyline.
You love the characters in that one.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think there are really good thematic things there as well.
Yeah.
But this one is probably the most fun. Like, I didn't expect to have this much fun doing damage to a villain, or like, boom, I attacked you. Oh, ready again. Like, it just felt like you were having the superhero moment.
Good. That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what else there is to say.
So much. We've said so much.
But yeah, so we thank you for listening to our quick. It's been an hour, Angela. It's not quick.
We always say there's not much to talk about.
No. But before we wrap up, let's just take a quick break, and then we'll say our goodbyes. All right. Well, if you haven't had enough Spider-Man talk today, we're just going to keep going. We should probably mention that after Ironheart and Nova, the next 2 heroes are Spider-centric.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Ham is coming, which everyone thought was a joke because it was announced on April Fool's. It's a real thing. I'm not excited, but...
Me neither.
But it's just probably like this. Like, we're like, oh, no, there's Spider-Man. But he might be fun and zany, and who knows?
Right.
And the other one is, I don't even know how to say it.
It's Spider.
But it looks like code. It's like SP//
yeah.
DR. It's another Spider-Verse girl, the girl who it was in the movie that has like the spider robot. Very different version in the movie, but that's coming as well. So if you love Spider-Man, these are coming after the 2 we talked about.
Cool.
So,
all right. I wanted to mention and do a shout out to a company that we've mentioned before. I think they're on Etsy. Buy the Same Token.
Oh, yeah. We have great Marvel tokens from them.
Yes. So BUY, like buy.
Yes.
Right? Buy the Same Token. The only reason I want to mention them on this episode again is because I'm contemplating buying sand counters.
Oh, you are?
Because, I mean, we have like all-purpose counters.
But we
them.
got to use them for allies, and you got to use them for ammo, and you got to use them for this.
So we already have like damage counters from them. We have acceleration tokens, tough, stun, all that. But I'm contemplating getting the Sandman specific ones.
Oh, cool. We'll put a link to the show notes to buy the same token because they have good stuff. Mm-hmm. Even beyond Marvel Champions, they do a lot of Arkham LCG stuff.
Yes.
And I think they do X-Wing if you're into that. And there's a whole bunch of other things. So.
Yeah, super high quality and super fun to play with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you want to tell them about a little fun thing that's coming up in our future?
We are going to be on an episode of another podcast. The guys over at Critical Encounters podcast invited us on for an episode, and we recorded it, and it's not out yet, but it's going to be out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Look for our Instagram, I don't know if their Instagram or social media to get information on when that is. It's coming up soon. I believe it's around the 20th.
Maybe next week?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll confirm that after the show, but like just watch out for it. We had a lot of fun with those guys, and we are looking forward to being on, just having everyone hear it, I guess.
Yeah. A couple things. We always say we talk a lot, and I think we sat down with them for one physical night, but we have probably 3 episodes that are going to be released.
Seems like a lot of show.
It was so much fun. They're a podcast all about Marvel Champions. If you've never heard of them, they focus on the villains.
They take a lens through the villain's eyes.
Yes.
Which is very hard for me to do.
I know, you're so hero.
I'm a hero.
I know.
Through and through.
Through and through.
No, I'm a villain. Come on.
So, yeah, we had a lot of fun with them. If you've never listened to their podcast and you enjoy Marvel Champions, go on over there. They go way deeper than we do. They go like card by card and talk about
the side schemes, not the allies, but the Nemesis cards. And
minions.
All that stuff.
Yep. And
it's really cool.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So before we go, we'll give a welcoming to any rules that we have messed up.
Yeah.
Rules fixes. So if you want to let us, I don't know how I'm trying to say this. If we said something wrong, let us know. That would be awesome. That'd be great. Like we're not afraid of it. So
no.
I think we got most of it right, but we play a lot of games and you just might miss one every once in a while. And who knows, maybe we were playing something wrong for years.
Listen, it's happened before. Not only in Marvel Champions, but also in like Root. I figured out I was playing a faction wrong about a year ago. So
Root.
I mean, all I'm saying is I remember the first time we did a Marvel Champions podcast and I told Christian, I'm so nervous that we're going to get something wrong and people are just going to
yell at us.
And it's like, this community isn't like that.
No.
So I think I've learned that lesson. This community is super nice. So thank you for correcting us and not being mean.
Yep. And I had an idea while listening to all of the villain talk in the campaign just now.
Yes.
This is what I need. I need a site like Marvel's CBD.
Okay. CDB?
Yeah, whatever. But it's for scenarios and people who have made interesting villain and encounter set scenarios.
Like modular?
That go together. We get stuck doing whatever's on the card. So if it's just like, Claw, do this and this and this, and it's like, okay, we'll do it. We rarely, I think we've started to more and more.
Right.
But we're just like, let's just slap this one on there and see what happens. And we don't know, like.
Well, yeah.
It would just be fun if somebody has some like good combinations.
It's another great idea.
I would love to hear that. So if you guys have found some good combinations of villains and encounter sets, modular sets, let us know. I think that'd be really neat.
Yes, we would. Yeah, love to mix it up like that.
Yeah.
can't do it in a campaign, so it's fun to step outside.
No, but you could take some of those modular, like the
Yeah.
goblin tech, and put it in, like, who knows?
Yes.
Like claw or something. All right, Ange, do you want to just tell everybody where they can reach us if they have those rules corrections or villain encounters?
Sure. So you can reach us on Instagram. We are at Married and Bored. We love to interact through comments as well as DMs. You can email us, hello@marriedandbored.com. You can go to our website, marriedandbored.com, and fill out an information form. That'll reach us as well. And we are on Twitter, at Married Bored.
Married Bored.
Married Bored.
Yep.
And also, if you enjoy our show, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. That's awesome. It helps people find us. And, we just love more people to hear about us. And if you don't like it, let us know a different way.
Much nicer. And if you're in Gilbert, Arizona, say hi.
Yeah.
Because they all know what we look like from this audio show.
All right, guys. Until episode 47 comes out, we will see ya.
Later.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.